Maybe I'm crazy, but Halle Berry.
Halle Berry. I meant to look who sang. Was it? Is
Very
that
underrated song.
Is that Plies?
I don't think it was Plies.
Plies adjacent.
Hurricane
Chris.
Donnie with the assist.
I have to pat myself on the back on the Plies adjacent.
Yes, you're right about that.
I need your mic.
Oh shit!
Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm not.
Welcome to Maybe I'm Crazy podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. That is Brandon Newman.
Hola.
Right over there.
Yes.
Sweet shirt.
Here I am. Thank you. It's
R.I.P. Stanley.
R.I.P. Stanley. The Cosmic Crusaders is some fake thing he did at the end of his career, money grab, but shouts out. What? I can say that. I gotta say what's on the shirt.
I couldn't think of a worse way to diminish an absolute legend and
I'm not trying to diminish
gift
him.
to pulp culture,
I'm a big
movies, television.
I'll big up him in the culture report.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yes, and R.I.P. Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, so I asked you, Freddie. Oh, have you seen it yet?
I have seen it.
You seen Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah. What the did you say?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's the right name?
Yes, it's my second favorite song on planet Earth.
Ooh.
And
first.
I know every word. I'll Be Your Lover Too, Van Morrison. Don't at me. It's a very good song.
Okay.
You know what that movie is from? I mean, that song is from? That song is from the movie with Meg Ryan and Russell Crowe.
They're dirty.
Wait.
I feel like their face is always dirty.
Their face is always dirty.
Yeah.
Because she has been kidnapped. What is the name of the movie?
I just feel profiled. With the
You are being profiled
with the
right now.
snapping point. Let me Google it. I don't know.
Come on. Proof of Life. Proof of Life. Proof of Life. It is the last song in the Proof of Life movie.
More like proof that they existed.
And yes.
Yeah, like, when did they have the movie together?
I don't know. Look, I saw it when I was younger, and it inspired my romantic side. So it's my favorite
Good.
song of all time. Bohemian Rhapsody is my second favorite song of all time. Miss Fat Booty, Most Def, third favorite song of all time. Just
Miss
fun.
Fat Booty?
Miss Fun Joy Facts. Don't tell me you've not heard Miss Fat Booty, because it's going to be a real problem for us moving forward.
Wally World?
It's really frustrating.
Wally World. Wally World. You know that one? That's probably my third favorite song.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
Nothing yet.
Okay. Freddie Mercury. Yes.
Yes,
So
yes.
I saw Queen.
Yes.
It was very good. I was expecting it to be more a little bit like movie-ish.
Yeah, it was
but
trash.
no, it wasn't.
Sounds like it was trash.
It was not trash. It was
Sounds like
it's a biopic. Is it biopic or biopic? Biopic.
I've heard it both ways.
I've
Joy.
heard it both ways.
I say everything
I'm
all the
gonna
ways,
call it a
so.
movie biography, and save myself the trouble. But it was good, and they have hits. And I proclaim, and I've always said this, but I'm
Okay.
just proclaiming this now on the podcast. Queen is the ultimate sports band. That's really not debatable.
No, they
Like on the Mount Rushmore of bands that make sports songs,
Yes.
Queen is the front face. Who's the front face? Queen is Abraham Lincoln. I don't know if he's the front face, but that's who it is.
He's definitely one of them. I'm pretty sure.
But Queen is number one.
The irony though is nice.
Stop it.
Nice.
I didn't say
I like it. I like it.
But they have hits.
I didn't say it. I
They
threw
have
that
hits.
joke to him mentally, but I did not say it. But yes, Queen's great. Freddie Mercury.
Name one other song besides Bohemian Rhapsody.
I don't think I probably would have said a different word for that song. So,
Another one bites the dust.
another one was there one on Ted.
We Are the Champions.
There's one in Ted that was popular.
We Will Rock You.
Those are all
Fat Bottom Girls.
Fat Bottom Girls.
Fat Bottom Girls,
You
make
make
the rock and
whiskey
world
go
go
round.
round. It's very weird because it's kind of a country song.
I don't know. I thought that was Tim McGraw.
Anyway, shout out Freddie Mercury. You thought that
Yes.
was Tim McGraw?
I mean, possibly, yeah. It sounded like
I just
Tim
want to
McGraw
cut
song.
this
Good bicycle
entire
one, too.
section out of this.
I like
Oh,
that
bicycle.
Bicycle. Bicycle.
Beatles
I
or
want to.
Queen? The Beatles or Queen?
Queen.
Yeah, hands down. The culture pick.
Anyway, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Also, we are out here in California.
Mm-hmm.
Just to let everyone know we are safe from the wildfires that are not actually too far away from us.
No.
We got a little smoke and some ash the other day, but we want to give a shout out to all the firefighters who are working very hard.
First responders.
To first responders to keep us safe. But thank you for all your well wishes.
Yeah, a lot of people checking up on us.
yeah.
It's one of the few times that, you hear about an earthquake and it's like, oh, is everything okay? It's like, yeah, I didn't feel it. Like, this has affected everyone.
No, it's not affected the entire city. It's
Right,
not that far away
yeah.
from us, but we are safe. And we want to give a shout out to all the first responders and firefighters for protecting us. So there's some sports stuff to talk about today.
Yes.
Let's start with LeBron. LeBron had some quotes. When LeBron has some quotes, then it's going to be really discussable stuff. So there's been some interesting things happening with the Lakers. Everyone's freaking out about the Lakers, like trade Brandon Ingram and fire Luke Walton. Relax.
Tell Magic to stay upstairs.
Well, yeah, Magic was pissed. Magic was not happy, and he had something to say after they lost to the Raptors without Kawhi, and he basically said, like, you got to get your shit together or there's going to be some changes. And then he kind of backed off of it and was like, oh, there's not going to be any changes unless something dramatic happens.
Right.
And just to be clear, we love Magic Johnson, all-time legend.
Yes.
Great man. But that quote's kind of flip-floppy there.
Yes.
Well, I had no concern about them firing Luke Walton whatsoever because I don't think that organizations like the Lakers do things like that this early into the season. It just doesn't make sense.
I thought you were saying it didn't matter, but yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
No, I mean, like, you knew what Luke Walton was before you came into the season, and you knew what the expectations were before you came into the season. What's firing Luke Walton going to do? Well,
he's there to develop young talent, and now they have an actual maestro head coach on the floor. I mean, we know the story of LeBron James and his head coaches. Right.
Which is why also Luke Walton wasn't going to get fired because
it's true.
What's that going to accomplish?
They get fired after they leave. After LeBron leaves.
They responded by going 5-1 since that little situation, but also they added Tyson Chandler, which was huge. Now everybody around the league was like, "Oh, whatever, it's just the Lakers getting another piece and blah blah blah, not a big deal." And then they forgot Tyson Chandler is a legend. And he's in his 18th season, and he's super smart. He's not your average center. They went on a 3-game winning streak since Tyson got there.
Yep.
And let's see what they've improved on since Tyson arrived. Before Tyson Chandler, they were 18th in rebounds per game. They are now 4th. They were 28th in opponents' points per game. They are now 7th. And they were 23rd in opponents' field goal percentage. They are now 3rd.
Turning up the heat.
Maybe, just maybe it wasn't time to panic just yet. But what got everyone in a little tizzy this week was LeBron responding to that change around since Magic put down put his foot down, and then they brought in Tyson. He said, "I haven't changed anything outwardly, but you know me, you know how I am. I almost cracked last week." That's the big word. Cracked. I had to sit back and remind myself, expletive. I don't know which one I would like to insert there.
Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You knew what you were getting yourself into. This process has been good for me. I just have to continue being patient. I had to regroup. Remember, this is a young team. We're playing some good ball right now, and we're going to start building good habits. That's all that matters right now. I know everyone's going to freak out about this, and they just shouldn't. They just really shouldn't. Because
LeBron is mentally unstable?
No, it's because LeBron is a bit dramatic sometimes.
Yes.
And I think my whole takeaway was, like, everyone was like, oh, LeBron, he likes to make a big deal out of everything, and he's king drama and all that stuff. I think he just underestimated how much pressure was going to be on him this year. Yeah. And maybe I did too, because I have no expectations of the Lakers this year. I wouldn't even be surprised if they didn't make the playoffs. Now, I know that would be a colossal meltdown for everyone on planet Earth.
At this point.
It is the West, and it's a little bit harder. Even though the East is on the come up.
It was the West. And I think something is to be said about getting Tyson Chandler the right piece, because I feels like the NBA is scrambling right now to trying to find pieces in general. And the Lakers, led by LeBron and Luke Walton and Magic Johnson, clearly had the right piece in mind. And I think they'll add the right piece as it goes on. But right now, they're good.
Well, yeah. Before the season even started, everyone was like, oh, you need to add a shooter. God, I got a shooter. We're going to shoot her at the trade deadline. We're going to shoot her. Okay. Yeah. Where? Who's willing to trade with you? What are you going to have to give up?
For what? Yeah, exactly.
Right. So I don't like looking ahead to the trade deadline. Like, these are things you put together before the season starts. But I'm also I was never going to panic about the slow start. I told y'all. I don't want to make you guys look up the clip, but I'm pretty sure I told y'all they're going to start slow.
You did.
I said it. Do you know why? Because this is what LeBron teams do. He went back to the Cavs. They started slow. As a matter of fact, it's on here somewhere. I'm going to find it in 1 second. They started 5-7 in 2014. Guess what the Lakers started?
Is the slow start over, though?
Yeah, I do think it is.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
that's even more pressure, though.
Look, they've been winning games and they're on a high right now. And more importantly, adding Tyson not only adds obviously huge statistical implications, which I just read.
Yeah.
He has intangibles that they need on that team. Like everyone was like, oh, Rondo's going to teach Lonzo how to be a point guard. You know, like LeBron's going to elevate Lonzo and elevate all the young players. And I'm not saying that LeBron isn't doing that, but it's hard to play with LeBron. Everyone that plays with LeBron says that.
Yeah.
Everyone says that.
Figure out how to play with the GOAT.
Of course. Not only is there pressure, he is incredible. You have all eyes watching you every single game. Win or lose, it's something to talk about. It's a different level of not even expectations. It's just eyeballs you didn't have before. Like just people being critical of you that you didn't have before.
Yeah, and the expectations that they're trying to right while just trying to get better at playing basketball together, which is the biggest thing. You
don't get the luxury of just getting to work together, and the young players don't get the luxury of learning how to be winners and close games. You have to do all of that while also being under the spotlight of LeBron James. You're under the spotlight of LeBron James. Yeah. So what you do wrong not only affects him, what he does wrong affects you, and it's this whole cycle. And it's I'm sure it's psychologically a struggle for young players. But adding Tyson is a whole different ballgame because he can take that pie off of LeBron's plate of having to be that like constant leader
off Walton's plate.
And yes, exactly, because you need someone like that on the floor, and he's really like a point guard disguised as a center, a very, 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 very large center.
Very large.
He's very big
wingspan,
but
very tall.
He's very tall.
As Trae Young.
Like I'm a short person,
right?
As Trae Young, yes. Yeah. What was he thinking?
The last shot, I understand. Rookie here, trying to beat LeBron, wants his moment too. He's out here looking like
Tyson Chandler is a super tall person.
Yes, but I'm saying last shot, like Trae Young looks like an extra from Lord of the Rings. So like obviously an outside shot makes more sense, right, with those clauses lined up. So like I was surprised to see him drive and just like, what are you doing?
That's what I'm saying. It's not the shot for you. That's not the shot for you. Like when you're jumping down, you see Tyson just standing there. You're like, yeah, layup.
Yeah, no. When Tyson wasn't guarding him, obviously, but
he only has to move his toe 1 inch, and it just expands. He's like Inspector Gadget.
What I'm most impressed with the Lakers,
it wasn't even a hard block.
it was. He just made it. Also, he probably would have missed it anyways. Let's be real.
Well, whatever. Anyway, the ending of that game felt impactful.
Yeah.
Against the Hawks. Not that the Hawks are like some great team, but it was a way to win that felt like, okay, now they're starting to figure out how to win games and close games. And that's really what's important. Yeah. Like LeBron missing those 2 free throws, not surprising. LeBron doesn't shoot free throws. Like that's just what it is.
Not surprising doesn't stop the heartbreak and the hurt.
That he can't make free throws?
I'm damaged.
Get it.
I'm damaged.
I don't understand
Even that dunk, I was like, oh yes. And then he hung on the rim.
Yeah, I don't know what
like
that was.
He's in somebody else's front yard.
He really should have gotten a technical for that.
That's
actually,
crazy. LeBron,
he got LeBron.
Get down.
He got LeBron rules on that. That was. I thought for
technicals.
sure. Yeah,
Right?
I thought for sure they were going to give him a technical
He was
on that.
still there. He's still hanging up there right now.
Yeah, he might still be there.
That's so
it was
crazy.
really crazy. And I'm not even one of those people that's like, oh, he's hanging on the rim too long, give him a tech. That was like, what are you? I don't understand. Are you trying to get a technical?
Get down.
I don't get it. Are you trying to lose the game?
You just missed 2 free throws.
Right.
You're lucky Kuzma is taller than that
Before
lineup.
that, because Tyson actually took their 2 bigs out.
Yeah.
Where Atlanta f***ed up is they should have put their big lineup in so he couldn't get the rebound. Tyson just grabbed the 2 guys next to him and just pulled them away, basically. That and then Kuzma scooped in and barely got that rebound.
Barely.
So all that entire situation outside of Tyson and Kuzma was lucky for LeBron anyway. I didn't understand that. However, I am optimistic about the Lakers. I do think they're back on the right path. I get what LeBron is saying. But really what it comes down to is LeBron does not like being the villain. He doesn't like high expectations because that's what it was in Miami.
Right.
And I watched it for 4 years, and that's what it's starting to feel like now with the Lakers. I didn't have any expectations for the Lakers this year. I know Lakers fans have high expectations because they're used to winning championships or at least being in the championship conversation, even though the past couple of years they haven't been.
The hunt.
It's LA. So maybe I just misjudged that.
But where does this mean for you, Joy Taylor, when you say you had no expectations for the Lakers, but you like them now? What is
Well, I
what's
also
the ceiling?
said that they were going to be in the Western Conference Finals.
Yes, you did say that.
So
it's looking that way
so
now.
I'm hedging
it's a
my
big
bets.
game this weekend.
Basically, it's what's happening.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is this: like, if they didn't if they didn't make it that far, I wouldn't be surprised, is what I'm saying. Yeah. However, they have the capability of getting that far, where people were like, oh, they won't make it to the second round of the playoffs, or they might not make the playoffs, or it was a colossal mistake for him to go to the West. None of those things are true. He's still LeBron James, and they still have the pieces around him to be successful if they get the chance to develop, which it looks like they're going to have the opportunity to do. Yeah. Plus, the Rockets are just a disaster.
Really, really just
tragic.
Astro bad? No, I tried to force something in. Didn't work. No. No.
Anyway, we were just watching this amazing Trump video, which I don't know what I don't know what I wouldn't do to get Trump to look at me that way, because it is so good. It is the stank face of all stank faces.
It's so disappointed.
It's so good, and it brings me back to like falling asleep in church is obviously one of those places where you get the backhand.
That's it. That's the one.
The pinch. Did you ever get the pinch?
My dad used to be in the choir in church. My brother and I would sit in the balcony. He would wait for us to fall asleep, and then as soon as we nodded, we looked at him, and he would just do this, just said stand up, and we would stand up the rest of church. He saw us every time.
Up the rest of church?
Every time. Every time.
That's brutal.
So that brings me very negative energy thinking about falling asleep
I'm trying to think of like the worst place I've fallen asleep at.
Falling asleep in class. Watch people fall asleep.
No, I fell asleep in class. I fell asleep in class. I took a French class before I got switched into the dumb math class my senior year, which is another story.
How's that the same thing? I took French in college. Don't do that.
No, I took French. I'm talking about high school. I didn't. You know, they have these like state mandated classes or tests.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like all the kids are bad at math failed. Right, yes. Obviously, so then we get stuck in the dumb class together, which was rowdy as That shit was fun. Like, you dummies.
Yeah. My mom
didn't fail the math part. This is the best class. It's so fun. All the derelicts are in this class.
Shout out to all my friends in high school that were in my mom's English class senior year.
My mom worked at the school too.
That was the rowdy class.
She didn't teach, but she worked at the high school also.
With rowdy people?
Yeah. Well, my mom's rowdy.
Yeah,
anyway, she walked around my niece's wedding with a bottle of Jack Daniels. Jack Honey. Classic.
Honey, no, that's not. That's the worst.
What are you talking about?
Jack Honey shouldn't exist.
Jack Honey is delicious.
Anything honey liquor shouldn't exist.
Jack Honey is delicious.
That's false.
Have you ever had Jack Honey?
Yes, because it's cheaper. Of course I've had it.
Okay, it shouldn't be cheaper. It should be more expensive because it's better. It's very good. Don't tell my mother you don't like Jack Honey. You will not be invited over for dinner.
People falling asleep.
Anyway, what the people falling asleep? Yeah, I'm a bad plane sleeper.
You're so small though.
I am small, but but I'm very like dramatic. So if I'm flying with Earl, obviously I sleep on his shoulder, you know.
Right.
But which is what happened last time we were coming back from Kansas City.
Shouts out to Earl.
And I was sleeping. Shout out Earl. And I'm sleeping, and he keeps pushing me. I'm like, because I'm sliding. I'm a slider, right? So I sleep like this. I try to do this. I try to do this move so I don't slide, but my neck still goes down. So if I don't do that, like if I'm on the side or something, and then I do this thing.
It's demonstration.
And I know I drive the people next to me crazy.
Do you wake up from it? Do you like wake yourself up from
Sometimes.
it? Sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put stuff in. I was wanting to talk about like significant others sleeping and what they do.
You're gonna avoid that. That's probably smart.
Another time.
Yeah. Anyway.
Love you, babe.
So shout out Michelle.
Yeah.
I'm a bad plane sleeper. But that video of Trump is so good.
So good.
All right, with it or quit it?
With it or quit it? With it? Quit it.
What?
With it.
We about to turn up in this bitch.
How about them Cowboys? Back in the playoff contention, and while Dak didn't exactly shine in the Cowboys' win over the Eagles on Sunday night, the Cowboys are now 4-5 and tied for second in the NFC East. With the Thanksgiving game against the division-leading R-words around the corner, Joy, the Cowboys are definitely making the playoffs. With it or quit it?
What? I'm quitting that. I'm not saying that they're definitely making the playoffs. What kind of nonsense is that?
You believe in our words? Do you believe in our words?
No, I don't.
Okay. They're gonna beat them.
I thought you asked me, do I believe in our words?
Oh.
Do I believe in the R words?
Yes, in the R word, the team.
Yes.
The Washington Black Faces.
Team. Yeah, the Washington team. Washington Racist team.
Yes. Yeah.
Name.
Washington Racist.
The Washington Racist team name.
Yeah. What about them? You believe in them?
No, I don't.
Exactly.
But I do believe in Philly still. Here's the thing about the NFC East. The Giants are stupid. We're not talking about them. They won. That's very nice.
So
Congratulations.
happy about that win.
Okay.
They were
Just
so,
like-
Odell Beckham, worth the money
He is worth the money. And
for that team.
And it's disappointing that Odell is on that team. I wish Odell was on the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's make that happen.
Ooh.
Team break all. Let's start a petition to break all normal NFL rules and somehow manage to get Odell on the Kansas City
right.
Chiefs.
Yes, for sure. With
that
the
would
Giants
be,
helmet.
That would be awesome. However, the Cowboys beat Philly, and that's nice and that's fun. Whatever. I know Ashley's very excited and she has notes. She's very biased notes. Okay, so my producer Ashley, she does the notes and she just puts these things in here and she knows that I Ron Burgundy things sometimes, so I just read them. Like for example, she wrote the Cowboys D. Yeah, you think you're always doing this. Cowboys D still amazing is what she writes. That's her intro for the Cowboys. Cowboys
D still amazing. I said on this podcast that they're going to have one of the top 5 defensive lines at the end of the season, and it's trending that
the Cowboys
way.
defense.
Remember when I tried to get you to take them for fantasy football, and you were like, "No, they're not good."
They're the reason I lost this week in fantasy football. Maybe I'm crazy.
You totally can't drop and add defenses from week to week.
I mean.
Anyway,
spoiler alert.
you act like you try to consult me on some amazing sleeper or something. The Cowboys
You're
defense.
about the Cowboys?
They kind of were.
They've got
The
a defense. Vander Esch putting them over the edge this year.
Sean Lee might play this year.
About those notes, what does it say?
Here's the thing: Cowboys D is still amazing. Through 9 games, the Cowboys have given up just 28 plays of 20 yards or more, which ranks near the best in the NFL. She didn't want to give the exact number there. Near the best. Near the best.
That's better than far from the best. Damn near the best.
Look, Ezekiel Elliott had a good game, which means that Dak's going to have a good game because that's how it works.
Oh,
and listen, I know everyone's flipping out about Dak Prescott and like they're bailing on him and stuff. And the reality is he's going to have to take a discount unless Jerry Jones has completely lost his mind. But Dak Prescott, he's Alex Smith, like he's Kirk Cousins, maybe. Like he's just consistent enough to make you okay and you can be great if you have an amazing offensive line and Ezekiel Elliott is running like rookie of the year.
But
and
Matt Trubisky is proving
who the f*** is Matt Trubisky?
Matt Nagy and Mitch Trubisky combined. They're together. Matt Nagy, Trubisky.
The Chicago sandwich.
If there's a good coach that can coach offense, they're proving that coaching is more important in the NFL now than ever.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So if the Cowboys can take their head out of their ass, fire Jason Garrett, put an offensive-minded head coach there. Yeah, I believe in Dak Prescott.
Well, here's the thing: the Cowboys and the Eagles are 4-5 right now, and they play the Cowboys play the Falcons next, which is probably a win because the Falcons are. But it is at Atlanta.
The Falcons are going to get
I don't know what to make of the Falcons.
They just got embarrassed by the Browns. They're going to come back. They're going to beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys are going to beat the Redskins on Thursday night, and then we'll start talking about the NFL again.
Maybe, but the Eagles are taking the hell this week because they're at the Saints, and that's just an out.
Yeah.
But they're still in it if we're going to be fair and factual about it. But what you just said is the actual point, and I don't think it's going to happen. The thing about it is I keep telling everyone. You remember how Jerry Jones got in the Hall of Fame? Do you remember how the Cowboys are the most profitable sports franchise in the world?
Regardless, right?
Okay, so you can't tell him shit.
No.
And you know what? If I was Jerry Jones, you wouldn't be able to tell me shit either. What kind of advice could you possibly give me about being successful? Just tell me. I have Super Bowl rings. I'm in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
What year?
I am rich as and I am the owner of the most profitable franchise on planet Earth, which was a disaster before I bought it.
Jerry's going to get bad at acting pretty soon here, and he's going to have someone else actually handle the things that are going on.
No, I think he's passed off some stuff to Stephen Jones. I think he's passed off some responsibilities.
It's a weekly radio hit.
Okay, I get it. He's always going to be Jerry Jones. Like that's what he is. That's what Jerry does. But I'm just saying I don't see him firing Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett has put himself in a position to be the perfect coach for Jerry Jones. Like that he is the embodiment of what Jerry wants in that position. Somebody who he can tell what to do and everybody knows it. And that's not, I don't blame him. Like the job security, do what you got to do, make yourself indispensable. But, and it's not like winning playoff games and making it to Super Bowls is something that's high on the priority list for the Cowboys in the past 20 years. Am I right?
I mean, we want to. Also, did you see Jason Garrett? Did you see Jason Garrett smiling?
What did you just say? Did you just say, yes. I mean, we want to? Is that what you just said?
I heard it.
Clearly we want to.
What? I want to have a six-pack. I still eat carbs all the time. I still
Yeah,
have
I gave
pasta
up on
3
that
times a
six-pack
week.
thing.
What are you
All
talking
I'm
about?
saying-
You want to?
Yeah. Explain
You should be
yourself.
ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, you should.
That's the standard.
I'm not even as mad as she is about it, but she convinced me. How dare you?
How dare you? All right, what's next?
The Patriots are 7-3 after a bad loss to the Titans on Sunday. While I'm sure they ain't tripping in New England, people like myself are salivating over the end of Tom Brady for real this time. In an offensive happy NFL, Brady has thrown only 1 touchdown pass in the last 3 games. Joy, the AFC is too talented for the Patriots to make it to the Super Bowl. With it or quit it.
It's a tough question.
What you think? The AFC, it's not the old AFC.
It isn't the old AFC. I'm gonna win it. Just because I am seeing some cracks there.
And who? Tom Brady or the Patriots?
In the Patriots.
But
Not Tom Brady. I am not doing that. I'm not doing that. And I really
passes.
feel silly even saying it about the Patriots too.
He almost 20
everyone
incompletions.
What
20
is it with the
incompletions.
Tennessee Titans? Every time the Tennessee Titans wins, it's just like they're like Super Bowl bound. Can
Okay,
everyone
so
just relax?
When they embarrass the Cowboys, it's a fluke. Or the Cowboys are terrible. When they embarrass the Patriots, Bill Belichick always loses to former teammate, assistant coaches, players. Well, I think this is the first time he's
he
ever
lost to
played
Patricia
someone.
and Mike Vrabel.
Right.
And in those games, they scored 10 points, and Brady completed 52% of his passes compared to the other 8 games where they went 7-1, and he averaged 32.5 points and 68% of his passes.
So you do have the stats.
I do have the stats. I can read them very quickly. The point, I get it. Like, so if you have more information on Tom Brady, you have a better chance against him. Wow, whoop-de-fucking-do. Like, I mean, that's revolutionary shit, right? I mean, I hope you picked up something in the 10 plus years that you were working under Bill Belichick. Otherwise, what were you doing? However,
All fair points.
I am not going to just bail on the Patriots being good this year. I know everyone's been dying and praying for this moment for the past 18 years. Yeah, there's a lot of time wasted. I am done wasting my time rooting against Tom Brady actively and thinking that this is the end. You know when it's going to be the end? When he says, I am done playing football, out of his face, out of his pie hole comes those words, then I will believe it, and then I will stop fearing the New England Patriots. Until then, they're still contenders, and that's just all there is to it. The Steelers are playing amazing, and obviously we know the Chiefs are off the chain.
Yep.
And this week, playing the thing about this week with the Chiefs and the Rams is like, I don't know, man, because it's they're playing in Mexico City, and the elevation there is crazy. It's 2,000 feet higher than playing in Denver.
Wow.
So it's so far above sea level. It's crazy elevation. It's hard as to play there. So I don't even know that like I can look at that game and be like, this is a Super Bowl preview, because it's not. It's a neutral site.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously the Super Bowl will be a neutral site
yeah.
also, but it's not going to be in Mexico City. So it's going to be in Atlanta. So I don't know, but I'm not bailing on the Patriots just yet. I do think the Steelers they're playing great, and the Chiefs are playing amazing. I don't think the Patriots can win a playoff game in Kansas City. So there's that.
They have a long bye. It's long because they lost. Then they'll play the Jets, and then the Vikings game I'm interested in, because at that point in time, the Vikings got to put up or shut up eventually as well.
Oh, I don't believe in the Vikings. That's
well.
that's silliness.
Two things. Let me jump in here real quick.
You already have.
Yeah, you already jumped in.
Despite the way both of you were looking at me when I said those
We're
words, I'm
hoping
gonna
that,
jump in anyway.
more
we're
words
hoping that it's important.
from you.
Should I say, or should I get to the? All right, I'm gonna get to it. They might not play at Stadio Azteca in Mexico City because the field looks like trash.
I did see that the field was
So
bad. Where's the alternate site?
Shakira concert.
Ooh, Shakira.
Wherever.
Those hips don't lie. Okay, so Shakira up the field.
Yep, and then the second
Stay
thing
fucking
is,
it up.
do you think the fact that Belichick and Brady and the Patriots lost to 2 previous coordinators, does that speak to you guys at all about the notion of Tom Brady being a system quarterback? That people who are inside of the system were able to beat the system and shut Brady
No,
down?
because do it when it matters. The regular season game, when they're both teams that I don't even believe in. I know.
Tom Brady is the ultimate system quarterback,
Okay.
and that's a compliment.
Yeah, Vrabel was a player, but I get your point. What
Thank
is
you.
the alternate site than Estadio Azteca?
They're still trying to figure it out.
El Paso.
I've been to El Paso.
That's a vibe. Pass
But
through.
they're making Plan B preparations for the likelihood
Preparation H.
that it happens in LA.
Interesting. All right.
Across the border.
What's next?
We going basketball next. Jimmy Butler finally got his wish. The Timberwolves traded Butler, Justin Patton, and a 2022 second-round pick for Dario Saric, Robert Covington, and Jared Bayless. No relations to Skip. Now, with all 3 All-Stars, the Sixers are ready to heat it up with the competition in the East. Joy, after the Sixers trade, the East is officially more interesting than the West. With it or quit it?
Yeah. I can get with that. I think that interesting. Yes, they are more interesting.
Yes.
I will with that.
No question.
Do I think that now all of a sudden makes them a lock to win the Eastern Conference? And everyone was freaking out over this trade. It's like, calm down. Can we see if Jimmy Butler is capable of playing with anybody before you guys crown yourselves Eastern Conference champions? Yeah. By the way, good luck in the finals against Golden State. Anyway. All right, so let's just relax there.
Everyone right now is training. Everyone's just training
for Golden State.
I don't know. What
all right. Well, Boston doesn't look as good as we thought they were going to look. They have some chemistry issues. Yeah. And this Jimmy Butler trade, we'll see what happens there. I mean, they did whip on my Heat, which I didn't appreciate. Mm-hmm. But Markelle Fultz, what's happened? I don't know.
Woo!
I don't know what happened to Markelle Fultz.
I was about to say. I can't say that. Damn.
Yeah.
It's
hard to watch.
Honestly, LeVar messed that whole draft up. LeVar messed that whole draft up. There's no reason Markelle Fultz should have been taken first. He didn't even win in Washington. What? First round pick?
I don't know.
Like Colin said, the process is over.
The process is over.
Yeah.
But I don't know how it's going to work with Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and then Jimmy Butler. I mean, it's Jimmy Butler, so he's going to score and he's going to be able to make plays at the end of the game, which is what they need. And obviously, the chemistry is just going to have to develop over time. But I'm not ready to just crown them Eastern Conference champions just yet. By the way, and this is on me as well because I don't really pay attention to them either. The Bucks are really, really fucking good.
I mean,
and they're beating really good teams. Now they do lose to bad teams, right. So there's that.
Clippers.
But they are a good team, and Greek Freak is playing out of his mind. So it's the East is really wide open for whoever wants to get it together at the end of the season. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens.
Raptors.
Obviously, the Sixers fans were losing their minds. Good for you. I mean, I would if I was a Sixers fan, obviously I would be excited as well. But I am not a Sixers fan, so I want to see what happens.
No,
first.
I don't want to know why. Why would a Sixers fan be excited, John Hill? Why would a
Sixers fan be excited?
No, I'm terrified. He's going to ruin that locker room. It's a disaster.
Thank you. Jimmy Butler is only proven to be good
He's terrible.
at messing
He
up locker
ruins
rooms.
teams.
Yes.
He ruins the last 2 teams. He'll sleep with your girl. Like, true facts.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It's a disaster.
I'll stop
Here's
you
what's
when
going
you
to
say
happen.
something
He's
incorrect.
going to play well. They're going to sign him to a max, and then he's going to do Jimmy Butler things, and the team's ruined. It's
and
over.
then Embiid or Simmons is going to end up somewhere else.
Yep. There's no way they're getting
forced
along.
out. Yeah,
he's
this
going to
whole
make
thing.
Fultz cry.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
It's over.
Fultz
It's
is already
over.
crying.
Oh, John Hill with the heat today.
I had to ask a real Philly fan.
I was not prepared for that.
I had to ask a real Philly fan.
I appreciate it, though. It was a very good insight on the feeling of.
What was that last one?
3 words. Fire Elton Brand.
Okay, those are the words of John Hill. But I appreciate it.
Philly, stand up.
Hear ye, hear ye. The Warriors are petty.
Woo.
Okay, so everyone's freaking out.
Excited.
The Warriors, KD and Draymond Green got in a little tussle the other night against the Clippers, and Draymond did a boo-boo and decided he was going to take the last shot at the end of the game. No. That's Kevin Durant's job.
I don't know if he was going to take the last shot. He definitely had the ball in his hands for way too long. Should not have taken it. Do you not think when Draymond brings the ball up the court, he shouldn't have did that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Because then he lost the ball, and it's just insane. And KD's standing right there like this. Which is what everyone else is doing. Is like, why does Draymond still have the ball when KD is standing right next to him without the ball?
The thought that most Warriors people have when Draymond has the ball, period.
Well, no, I mean, but in that spot,
Hold
for
on
sure.
a sec. Like, I'm not Ashley, so I don't jump into every Warriors discussion. But when Draymond has the ball, we feel fucking great.
Yeah,
because he's awesome.
I agree with that.
All right. He pushed the ball up the floor. He was going past. He got fouled like 3 times. Ain't nobody called it. I'm pissed.
Heller's standing.
I don't
up
understand what's happening over there.
The listeners, he was standing.
Yeah.
He was standing. Ashley does not stand.
Ashley does not do that.
Ashley does not stand. She's
okay.
chill.
It's fine. I agree with you, though. Everyone's not freaking out every time Draymond touches the ball. However, in that specific situation, not a good idea.
No.
And then they lost the game because they went into overtime and the Clippers won. And then KD, so they were fighting on the sidelines, very visible. Boogie, which I like, kind of took Draymond off to the side.
Yes.
Now, people were tweeting me that he said something about KD's a bitch. I don't know if we've confirmed that or not. I hope that didn't happen.
I mean, if anybody can be lip read on television, it's Draymond Green.
No, that would be Boogie Cousins is the one they're saying.
Oh,
so
Boogie
that's not
Cousins
helpful.
said Draymond's a
I don't know. Can we look into that? Can we fact check that? Cause
yeah,
I
them
don't know about
Cartiers
that.
on.
Yes. And then KD skipped his media availability at the end of it. And now we're getting all these reports about what happened. So apparently Draymond was defending himself in the locker room, saying he made the right decision. He did not, obviously, and the rest of his teammates very vehemently disagreed in loud form. So everyone's having this meltdown about how this is the end of the Warriors and stuff. And then now there's a new report from Sham that is saying that Draymond said something to KD about his impending free agency. I don't know what to make of all of this. There's a lot going on here for just a simple regular season game against the Clippers. However, I will say, I'm going to look at the deposit as a positive. You want to deter bad behavior, right? And so you got to do it right now, okay? There will be none of this you taking the ball down the court at the end of the game.
Draymond
when the
is
game's
not
on the
a
line.
bad dog for Durant to tell him he made a mistake.
Kevin Durant is a back-to-back Finals MVP. He can tell Draymond whatever the he wants.
He's only that because Draymond allowed him to come onto his team.
No. It's not
And taught him stuff about
Draymond's
defense.
team. It's not Draymond's team. It's Steph's team, first of all. And listen, I am not disrespecting Draymond Green. I very much understand the value of Draymond Green on that team.
Good.
I don't think that they win a championship without Draymond Green any of these times. They need Draymond Green.
True that.
But Draymond, that doesn't mean that Draymond Green should have the ball in his hands at the end of the game, with the game on the line. It should never happen. And if you are a championship level team, you handle that shit in-house, and you tell Draymond, you're not to do that again. I don't give a fuck about your ego.
So what
That's not what we
happens-
do around
Draymond
here.
called him a bitch.
Draymond
Draymond
Called KD a bitch to Boogie. He kept saying he's a bitch. He's a bitch.
Yes. Now let me say something about that. When the most vocal person on your team, the vocal
I was
leader
not
on
clapping.
the team,
This is just me making a motion.
when
It
the
was
most
not
vocal
clapping.
person on the team is saying the best player on our team is a bitch, that is grounds to be like, okay, paying attention to the Warriors here on out. Hope they lose all the games. This is the end of the dynasty.
It's not the end of the dynasty. Everyone just relax. They're
I
going to
hope
fix
so.
it. It's going to be
Hope
fine.
so.
It's going to be fine.
Tom
I know,
Brady's-
this is the same
Tom
thing
Brady's
with
a
Tom
wrap
Brady. I
and
know
the
you were
Warriors
going
a
to say
wrap.
Tom Brady.
It's
I
over.
condone none of this nonsense. It's
Greatness,
fine.
greatness hater.
It is
Unbelievable.
very-
I don't hate it. It's
You
just
are a greatness hater.
Greatness is situational. Greatness is situational.
And our
Like
situation
with the Philly-
is still lit.
Like with the Eagles
it's
last year.
still lit. You're mad. You're big
when,
mad.
Like when LeBron got Draymond Green up off the floor and won the finals.
Big
and beat
mad.
Big mad. That's
Don't
a good
lie.
nickname for you. That's a good nickname for you.
Don't lie
Till you
against
get to the,
me.
hey, till you get to
Don't
280.
lie against
Till you get to 280, you might be big mad. Come on.
All right, the Warriors are wrap. Y'all heard it here first. Draymond and KD, the only two dark-skinned starters, about to fight this year. Oh, Lord. Actually, no. What's the center? He's dark-skinned too.
All right, lit list. It's warm in here. It is lit in here.
As I said, I was lit. I felt the sweat.
But you know what the thing is? We've been talking about how hot it is in here for the longest because we're silly and we built the panels in front of the thing.
The thing that
the
controls the
thermostat.
thermostat. That's what
Thank
they
you,
call
Ari.
it in the streets.
Yeah, it is thermostat in the streets.
Right, yeah.
Thermostat in the streets, thingamajig in the sheets. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Tell me what it says. Yeah. Try the meal. All right. Anyway. So, but now I don't want to bother to change it because it's getting cold outside.
It doesn't feel like fall outside right now. Like legitimately in LA, it feels like fall. It feels like fall in the mornings.
In the mornings,
In
it's
the
cold.
mornings, it feel like
it's
fall.
chilly. All right, so Halle Berry is lit this week during the
Always.
Seahawks-Rams game. She is always lit. Mike's picked up Jared Goff calling an audible, Halle Berry, Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
And the tweets caught the attention of Halle Berry because Halle is on it. recently, because I'm a very big fan of the royal family, I noticed that they posted some picture of the Prince Harry's dorm room, and he had Halle Berry on his wall, like the smallest picture.
Shut
Within this picture is like his dorm room wall, and then he has like this thing hanging, and then like Halle's in the middle of it. I think, like, how you spotted that, I don't know. So Halle is on this. She is waiting to see these things.
Did he go to?
So
is this
We
dorm
are
in his
not all
house?
white devils. Appreciate you, Harry.
Here you go. You just had to get in there.
He's from somewhere else.
Yes. Yeah. He's not American. Anyway, Halle Berry tweeted to Jared Goff, "Hold up, what is a Halle Berry?" This particular play ended up in a touchdown. And he also
Eventually.
he responded to her. "It's my favorite play ever." He was very excited after the game that Halle had noticed it. This is very, very LA. However, it warms my heart that Halle is still considered in the elite of elite, because I consider Halle up there.
I just recently started following her on Instagram. Do that.
That's not smart.
What? I can follow Halle Berry on Instagram.
Can you?
All 90s stars are on the table. I'm about to follow Raven after this. Raven Simone.
Okay. That's
Brandon
fine.
has often spoke about how much of a huge fan of Halle Berry's acting he is, so
Right.
I think it's all good, Joy.
Monster Ball is great.
I've
Monsters Ball, excuse me.
wait, Monster Ball.
Yeah. Which is what I thought it was as a child.
She's great in Boomerang.
Boomerang. Are we going to... Should we...
Let's do it! I've been so excited for this. So we were prepping for this show yesterday, and we started. We went down another wormhole in our show prep, which we're not going to. We're going to link it to this instead because it's more positive.
Exactly.
And we're doing positive things around here now instead of talking about people in bad ways. But we were discussing our favorite early '90s or late '90s, early 2000 Black rom-coms. So we did a list last. What was it last?
It was
for Valentine's Day.
When we did the whiteboard game.
Yes. We did our top romantic movies or
Yes.
Black romantic movies.
Our favorite romantic movie, period. Yes.
Okay. We did not go culture specific.
No.
Okay. Well.
I mean, the whole podcast is culture specific in theory.
In theory, yes.
Yes.
But we didn't want to limit it for the people who have not seen
Right.
Black romantic comedies.
Right.
Which, if you haven't, what are you doing?
Yeah, they're on
Why
all
would
the time.
like, because really Eddie Murphy was ahead of his time with the toe check.
Check for the toes. Yes. Okay. Eddie Murphy was before his time in a lot of things.
Yes, but the toe check is important.
Okay. Yes, that's true.
Like, it's just.
It is important. It is important.
Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, listen, I was in an all-girls dorm, all right, my
Yeah.
freshman year. Let me just tell you, if you're rocking with a girl with bad hygiene, it's kind of on you. You deserve whatever happens to you. It's just, honestly, women's bathrooms are disgusting. If I'm just going to go on a tangent here, women's bathrooms
please talk
are
about it.
horrific.
Talk about it, because we can't.
yeah, we don't know.
No, you can't?
No,
well, I'm
because
gonna
if
tell
we've
you.
seen it, we're not allowed to have seen it. You know. What? I can say a joke.
What? Anyway, all right, let's not get on that tangent. All right, so we made a list of some of our favorites.
Oh, now you don't want to go in the bathroom tangent.
No, I don't want to go bathroom tangent. Two can play that game. Very strong. Very.
Vivica A. Fox and somebody else.
Gabrielle Union, Morris Chestnut.
Morris Chestnut. Shouts out to Undisputed promos
Yes.
from the beginning.
I forgot about those. Yes.
Skip Bayless.
Good commercial.
Yeah,
it was a good commercial.
Yeah,
I watched Last Man Holiday with Earl last night.
I watched Nutty Professor last night.
I actually cried.
Last Man's Holiday.
He didn't catch me.
That
Earl
is-
didn't catch me, because if he had caught me, he would have given me shit. But he didn't catch me. It's very sad at the end.
All those movies are sad. Like, rom-com is it. Like, you cry and you laugh.
What year did Last Man Holiday come out? Google that.
I'm guessing
okay,
90.
Deliver Us from Eva.
Ooh. One of the best scenes from LL Cool J in his acting history.
Honestly, the writers do not deserve. I mean, they deserve so much more credit than they get.
so much more credit.
LL Cool J is a meat delivery man, and Gabrielle Union is a
Bougie, stingy?
bougie food inspector. Hello, and Mary
Print
J.
it.
Blige, "Star for Life" is one of my favorite songs ever, and you can't get it anywhere.
I'm not a
Very
big Mary J.
disappointing.
Blige singing
Obviously,
fan.
The Best Man, Boomerang, How to Be a Player.
How to Be a Player. So
Booty Call.
though I can just see all the movie
Now,
jackets.
how Stella got her groove back and
Yeah, what's your beef with
Waiting
Stella
to
again?
Exhale. I don't know. I feel like those are just romance movies.
No, because who's that lady's name with the high voice? To be honest, she was the black mom in the PJs with Eddie Murphy. Loretta. I feel like her name's Loretta. Anyways. She was
Loretta's a strong name.
She was in Waiting to Exhale. She was hilarious. There was a lot of funny black women scenes in Waiting to Exhale.
But is it a romantic comedy? Like, just because there's
The
funny
Preacher's Wife is gonna be a
scenes-
romantic comedy.
No, it's not.
Okay.
What are you talking
All right.
about?
Okay.
Preacher's Wife is, first of all, Preacher's Wife.
Okay,
first of all,
I was the only
Preacher's
person that
Wife-
found Whitney Houston charismatic and funny in that movie.
I'm not. You can have funny moments in a movie and it not be a comedy.
Okay. Tell that to Dave Chappelle in Must Love Dogs or You Got Mail, whichever one he was in, because every time he was on screen with Tom Hanks, he was hilarious. Let me say my black rom-coms.
First of all, Preacher's Wife is a Christmas movie. Okay, so just stop it. Preacher's Wife is a Christmas movie.
Okay, Friday After Next, is that a Christmas movie?
Yes.
Good. Okay then. What's
All right.
funnier
Now,
than that? It's better
okay.
than
So
that.
what?
Better than that. Okay.
It's not a rom-com.
I came in thinking we was gonna rank them, power rank. So here we go.
Okay.
5 black rom-com, Cradle to the Grave. Great. DMX, Aaliyah, and Jet Li.
A lot of laughter.
Tom Arnold's in there being hilarious. He's funny as hell.
It's a comedy if Tom
It's
Arnold's in it
not
for
a
sure.
romantic comedy.
No, it's not. Okay, so 4, Brown Sugar.
Okay, so here's the thing about brown
Okay.
sugar. Here's the thing
What?
about brown
Oh, you
sugar.
about to say something?
Yes, because brown sugar should be in there, but I don't
It
know why
is.
brown sugar feels like it's more like it's like
The prototype.
it's like more modern. I don't know why.
More modern than
It's in that time frame though. I don't know why I feel like it was later.
Most
Brown
Def
sugar- brown
is
sugar's-
smitten. It was when we first found out Most Def can actually act. Remember
Yeah.
when we first found out
No, no,
Common
no.
can actually act? It
It-
was like, oh, this guy's
No,
talented.
it's very strong. I love brown sugar. It's a great movie.
Deliverance from Evil 3, The Wood 2, which you still say you haven't seen, which is just like not acceptable.
It isn't acceptable.
You just gotta go do it. You guys should do that. The Wood, and then Nutty Professor #1. Now what is that? Is that a rom-com? Is that not?
No,
Jada
it's
Pinkett
not
Smith?
a rom-com.
Jada Pinkett
Just
Smith was
because
in there.
there are
crying?
romantic elements to a movie, or just because there are comedic elements to a movie, does not mean you can classify it as a rom-com.
Okay, well, 27 Dresses should just be a
you-
comedy then. Okay, we'll say it. 27 Dresses, just
I
a
like
comedy.
27
That's what I'm saying.
Dresses,
Just a comedy.
actually.
Y'all want to talk about that then? It's just a comedy.
Because
Nutty Professor is.
It's all based around romance. It's a rom-com. It's a rom-com.
Man of Honor.
What are you just
That was
saying?
funny.
Movies now?
I'm saying movies that were just funny. Like you can't be because because Cradle to the Grave has too much action in it. Don't mean it's not a rom-com.
What did you say yesterday, Belly?
Belly. I'm dead. Yes, all those.
Tommy and Keisha. When did Last Man Holiday come out?
2013. Let me hold on.
Yeah,
2013.
2013. Okay, let me think. What year is it?
Essence
It's 2018. I gotta tell you, not the obviously the death part of the end of that movie, but all right, Ashley's dropping stuff. The ending of his career kind of felt a little bit like Jason Taylor. I'm just saying they carried him off the field the same way. Felt like a little, a little reminiscent.
I don't like the comparison, but you're allowed to make
I
it.
do. So what do you mean? Why you don't like the comparison?
You said that somebody died, and
I said I'd take that
I know
part
you
out.
took it off, but I stuck with me.
Anyway, okay, so we just needed to do that because it was
Yeah,
important.
we
to us.
did. We feel better. Thank you, Halle
Love
Berry,
and
for
Basketball
that.
is not a rom-com.
How is Love and Basketball not a rom-com? I
Do
thought
you
were-
know what a rom-com is?
Clearly not.
Yeah, really,
Goofy
you don't.
movie is a great rom-com. The Goofy movie. Most Disney films are good rom-coms.
It's true.
What's it? The house one with the balloons. Up. That's not a rom-com. Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
The beginning of Up is the saddest fucking beginning to any movie since Bambi.
Yeah, I got to lay out of that with
Yes,
Bambi.
it is.
Yeah, that was.
All right,
Yeah.
next on the lit list is
Okay,
the
I
Saints.
forgot. We still doing this.
Yeah, we're still doing some of the show.
Sports stuff.
Drew Brees is just killing it right now, and I don't really know what to make of the Saints other than I don't know who can beat them.
I think they had a chance to be beaten until this last game. I realized Sean Payton and Drew Brees in the Saints offense are trying to win Drew Brees the MVP this year.
Oh, and he should. And he should. Like it's between, to me right now, the MVP race is between Drew Brees and Patrick Mahomes. And I tend to I think it's going to come down to at the end. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's between those two. And when it comes down to who's going to be playing better at the end of the season, I think really like it becomes like a popularity thing.
Oh. Patrick Mahomes?
Patrick Mahomes or Drew Brees?
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and this is just because Patrick Mahomes is young, and that's the only reason why I'm saying this. Like
Right.
literally the only reason. Drew Brees has never won an MVP, which is kind of an affront to the entire award. So
The
I
NFL.
would like to see him win it this year, even though I think Patrick Mahomes is just as deserving, and we'll see what happens. But Drew Brees is
It's like giving Derrick Rose MVP. It's like, you got
what?
to do it. You should do it.
no, it's not like giving Derrick Rose the MVP. Don't ever say that again. Drew Brees is in the discussion as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
With a birthmark on his face.
I don't know why that matters.
I'm saying,
he's
no,
completed
in the
22 of
statistics, it says
25
the asterisks.
passes on Sunday. His completion rate is 77.3%.
What is it again?
77.3%.
It's a lot of percents. Yeah, it's accurate.
I'm going to just break it down for you. That's very, very good. You
Very,
know why that's
very
good? Because the NFL record was set by Breeze last season, and it was 72%. So Breeze is fucking killing it right
He's
now.
not going to get to Peyton Manning's this year, though. The touchdown,
How
what is it,
far,
500?
how far away is he?
It's like,
He's like 30 away from the touchdown
I
record.
don't know, man.
maybe if Dez comes back,
Oh, yeah. That sucked. That sucked.
that does really suck.
That I really felt bad. That
Yes.
situation is horrible.
And
And,
I
then
feel really
they
bad.
signed Brandon Marshall.
And that could have taken the wind out of their sails too. Like that could have been really awkward. But I thought everybody stepped
No,
up.
and I thought it was really cool
threw
how
the
they all
X.
threw up the X and
Yeah, but I watched the Oklahoma State-Oklahoma game this weekend. By
Why?
the time the Saints came on, I was tired of seeing the X. I'm just going to say it. It was a lot of X celebration. There was a lot of homage. A lot of homage.
people were rooting for him. All right, and then finally, Duke. Duke is just incredible right now. They annihilated Kentucky and Army. They're the number 1 team in the country in week 2. This is their 135th trip to the top of the polls. That broke their tie with UCLA for the most weeks spent at number 1. And RJ Barrett, Zion Williamson, and Cam Reddish are all going to be first-round picks, and they're going to win the f***ing championship. And I don't even think it's close.
I would push back if I didn't spend all the time watching all the Zion clips before the show. Mm-hmm. It's pretty crazy. And I'm always for big men playing basketball.
Yeah.
He's 280. That's my goal weight.
I mean, that's your goal weight.
That's my goal weight.
Zion is a specimen, obviously,
Yeah.
and he's going to get a lot of the attention when it comes to draft time because he is so giant and so athletic. But I maintain that RJ Barrett is going to be the number 1 overall pick. He has more experience internationally. He beat Coach K's team or Calipari's team. His under 19 Canadian national team beat the U.S. U19 national team. And he was 17, and he actually had just turned 17. So he has a lot more experience, and he is a wing scorer and shooter.
I'm with
and
you.
and the way that that's part of it. That's the reason why he's not getting the love that Zion's getting, because he is Canadian.
Well, then my whole thing is it just feels like the case of when everyone is talking about how great this is, a lot of people want to talk about how great that is. And yes, this and that is all both great. They're both being coached by Coach K right now, and which is terrifying. The fact that Duke has adopted the one and done and going to coach people up and this is going to be a continuous thing. It's terrifying.
It's smart. It's what you should do. You should be ahead of the game. Shocker. An all-time great coach would figure it out. That's what Popovich does.
Who's the most popular Duke, though?
Most popular Duker?
Duke. The name
Duke person?
Most popular Duke.
Duke. Christian Laettner?
Actually, I was talking about the Bush baked beans dog. Oh. I think he was probably more popular Duke.
I don't know.
No?
That's really strong. Loser power rankings. Loser power rankings. Loser of the week. All right. So really big news. I take a major L. In fantasy football.
Yep.
Not going to say that was going to be my choice, but it is what it is. We
Why
didn't
you
get
take a L?
started on time. Well, Le'Veon Bell is not going to be playing football this season.
You just blame us for your Le'Veon
I do blame you.
pick.
I blame all of you.
Your Wi-Fi.
My Wi-Fi is just the absolute worst. I'm telling you, a gremlin on a wheel, a hamster wheel, it powers my Wi-Fi. He takes a break at night, starting at 6:45.
Pack-a-day smoker, probably.
Yeah, he's a chain smoker for sure. Yeah, he eats like turnips. Anyway, he is not turning up for the Steelers this year. He didn't report, so now he's ineligible. He's going to miss the rest of the season, and he's going to miss out on $14.5 million. I mean, I don't understand it. I don't know. Maybe he knows something the rest of us don't know. I have no to be clear, I don't have any problem with what Le'Veon's doing. If this is how you want to manage your career and your body, and you feel like you're making a statement for players moving forward or for your position, or you just feel like you're going to be able to make that money back, do what you need to do. Like I don't take it personally when any player does what they feel like they need to do to make the money that they need to make after they've proven themselves to be an elite player.
Right.
Like it sucks for fans, it sucks for your teammates, it sucks for the organization. But at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you. And if you feel like this is the best, then it's the best. Or it could end up very badly and you could hold out and then the next year you could not get paid or you could come in and get injured. And there's a million intangible things that you can't measure. But the thing about it is the Steelers are 6-2, and they've got James Conner. Now he's in concussion protocol right now, but it's a concussion. So even if he's out this week, he'll be back next week.
Right.
And he's third in the league in rushing. He's fourth in the league in total touchdowns, and he's got 771 yards rushing. He has better numbers than Le'Veon had. And they're rolling. So was I looking forward to having Le'Veon back? Or personally, for fantasy football reasons, yes. But I don't know. I didn't know how Le'Veon was going to come back anyway. He hasn't been playing. He can't be in game shape. He can be in workout shape, but he can't be in game shape.
Right.
So there was going to be a bit of a get back with it anyway.
Yeah, after week 4 of your starting running back no longer there, even him coming back week 8 in the works is like, okay, but what is he going to do for the team?
Right.
I didn't really think Le'Veon Bell was going to be important to the Steelers team this year in 2018. And him sitting out and putting all their money on the table, like, all the power to you. If you have, it's like when people took a year off of college because they wanted to. It's like, if you can do that, like, good, and you need to do it, and you come back better, stronger, faster, whatever. I'm still pulling for Le'Veon. I think this could be it's the right move because it's the move he made, in my opinion.
Like, I'm not going to flip out and judge his personal decisions for his career. Like, whatever. It's not. I mean, I'm not missing out on $14.5 million.
If it was me making the money, he would be like. If he had to be there for me to get $14 million, he would be there.
Right.
But it's not me.
But it's not.
It's not going. It's not my
It doesn't matter.
pockets.
It is in my pockets.
Yeah.
They play Jacksonville this week. All right. So next on.
It's must win.
They should win that game, actually. Yes.
AFC,
All right. So the Raiders are on the loser list again this week. They lost to the Chargers, who are very good.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
20-6
No
on
question.
Sunday, and they're 1-8, and they're a disaster. But what's interesting about the Raiders is that Mark Davis decided to step in and take some blame for John Gruden. So he said, I always look in the mirror and the buck stops with me. Where this team is right now is my fault. We haven't been able to build a 22-man roster. We haven't been able to give this team a chance to win because the reconstruction failed. We failed from 2014 on to have the roster we have now. He also dismissed the idea that Khalil Mack trade was Gruden's fault, and the same with the Amari Cooper deal. I actually like this. So while the Raiders overall are a disaster, I like that Mark Davis came in and took some responsibility for it. I don't think it's going to change anybody's mind, but a lot of these decisions come down to the owner, especially if you have an owner that is in any way meddling whatsoever. He has to sign off on these decisions, and a lot of people we don't pay attention to that. Well, sure, but Jerry Jones is the most visible owner in all of sports. So and Mark Davis is up there, but
the buck does stop with them most of the time.
Right, but we don't think about that as fans. Sometimes we forget it as media, and not just with the NFL. Like, it happens all the time in the NBA, and I'm sure MLB as well. Like, you have all these stats guys, and you have GMs, and you have the owners. Like, the decisions to trade or keep or cut players or draft players is not solely in the hands of a coach. Very rarely is it in the hands of a coach. I really feel like if you're not Belichick, it's not just in your hands. Because Belichick, I'm sure, doesn't have to run anything by Bob Kraft or anyone else in that building at this point. But if you're not, you got to run these decisions by people, and these decisions affect not only your career but the future of the franchise. And if you make a bad decision, and the owner makes you make that decision, and then they forget they made you make that decision. Like, I don't know, Hugh Jackson. I'd really like Carson Wentz. I'd really like Deshaun Watson.
Yeah,
I'd
but
really like
there's-
Patrick Mahomes.
But the Raiders are a professional football team. I don't know the exact stat. This is gut data. I think they haven't scored an offensive touchdown in the last 3 games. It's something crazy like
Yeah.
that. Like that is, like, I can't even say the words. It's inexcusable.
It is inexcusable.
As a professional football
it's how
team.
I felt about the Bills last week. Like
Yeah.
it's inexcusable. And shout out to the Bills for taking what I said and applying it and beating the Jets.
The Bills
Oh my
are
God,
some
so
kind of
bad.
weird Twilight Zone
They
team.
finally cut Nathan Peterman.
Such a nice guy. I bet he was very cordial on the way out.
He was probably very nice.
Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, he's very bad at football. All right, and finally, on the loser power rankings this week is the Rockets. So they made it through 11 games, Melo and the Rockets. He hasn't been cut yet. Everyone's just relaxed. According to Woj, though, Melo's representatives are already looking at a plan to move him to another team. There's obviously rumors that players felt like it was the last game that Melo's going to play with them, and it's just not working. And Woj said Melo's reps are looking at talking to front offices about where he could go.
Killer threes. Big 3. Love Melo.
I don't know what the Rockets were thinking, really. I had high hopes for Melo there. I thought it was a good move.
You did.
Turned out it wasn't a good move. Sometimes you swing, sometimes you miss. But.
Right. Talk to me.
People are freaking out. They're like, "Oh, Melo's gonna retire." Melo is not going to retire from basketball. This is not where the journey ends for Carmelo Anthony. That's just not what's going to happen at all. And Kyrie Irving said he wants him. I don't know that that's necessarily works. The Celtics already have some chemistry issues, so I mean, I think at this point, like, it's pretty obvious. It should be pretty obvious to Carmelo. You have now passed into a different phase of your career.
Yes.
All right, you are no longer a starter. You are going to have to come off the bench. You are going to have to adjust your game. You're going to have to come in and do only what you do best. And whoever puts him on their squad needs to put him in a position where he is only asked to do what he does best.
Right.
Right. Which is go out and get buckets. Okay. You don't need to be doing anything else because it doesn't make sense. And that's where the Rockets actually f***ed up. So. These been the Heat have been thrown out there because of his connection to Dwayne Wade. I don't really think that works. It's not gonna help them in any way. They're 13th in scoring already. I don't think Melo's gonna enhance them in any way there. Now, there's two other teams that are kind of interesting. Obviously, Kyrie just mentioned that he would like Carmelo to go there. During the season, I don't know how that works, but having him in the playoffs would be an asset, I think, because they do still have some young pieces, and he's coming off the bench. Okay.
Yeah.
But
when he does play,
Ashley hates this. The Spurs are interesting. Now hear me out. Okay?
the Spurs,
You back up
Melo
4.
Spurs.
Melo to the Spurs, back up 4. Okay? Just come in, get buckets. If they lose LaMarcus Aldridge for any reason whatsoever, they're screwed. They are 21st in scoring already. They already lost to DeJounte Murray. Pop knows how to handle personalities. Pop's the best in the business of what he does, and they, as an organization, are the best at putting people who do what they do in position to do what they do successfully.
Right.
Look at DeMar DeRozan. He's crushing right now.
I hear you, but would you say Melo's particularly good at being coached?
Well, that's the point. At this point in his career, he has to make a decision. Are you going to continue to be the Melo that you've been being, and now you've moved from the Thunder to the Rockets, and now on again?
Don't forget about the Hawks.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Bought out the Hawks. The Hawks bought him out. Yeah, whatever the thing was.
So are you going to continue to be that guy, or are you going to accept that you've moved on into the last phase of your career and find some way to wrap up your legacy? You can't leave it on the table like this.
Carmelo is looking at LeBron James, and the last time LeBron James won an MVP, Carmelo led the NBA in scoring. So Carmelo and these other NBA teams seem to be clawing and scratching at the idea that Melo could even come close to what he did in 2014.
He can't. And that's not the game. The game passed Melo by.
No,
Melo did not. He did not take care of his body the way he needed to. He did not adapt to the changes that
raw
just
talent at a point.
came across the NBA.
Yeah.
He didn't keep up with everything. He just thought he was going to be able to coast on what he's been doing, and it's obviously not the case. And it's not the case with anything. You have to be ahead of the curve. You have to pay attention to what's happening. It's why all these teams are scrambling for offensive guys now, because the rule changes happen in favor of offense. Maybe I should get a good offensive coach as opposed to a good defensive coach.
This
it doesn't
LeBron's
help
fault.
me.
Because in all the times that they invited him out for vacation, they should have invited Carmelo out to work out. Because clearly the rest of those guys were working out way harder than he was.
I mean, LeBron's really the only active member of that draft class. Like, if we're being for real, like that's actually still in the conversation for leading a team to a championship.
But that's insane in itself, and that's why LeBron's the GOAT.
Right. So you can't really compare that.
Yeah.
All right. What's in the culture report?
All right, let me get in my black nerd bag real quick for the passing of Stan Lee. Shouts out Stanley. No, I was thinking that's probably what only thing I should have wrote. Okay, all right. Stan Lee, a legend in American media, passed Monday at the age of 95. The co-creator of Marvel Comics and the mind behind some of the most recognizable superheroes in history. The creator of Western Greek mythology. That's my take. The catalyst to my imagination. Also my take. This may sound bad to admit, but Stan Lee and his heroes helped me better understand the miracle of Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Walk around this planet. Stan Lee taught me that the things that made me different were the things that made me special.
You definitely stole that from someone on Twitter.
I can read something and say he taught me the same. Then somebody else can read this and say the same. Much like the X-Men universe, I've always felt like black people were special and talented, like the mutant world. Exiled and ostracized because of our talents and abilities, Stan Lee helped me better understand the world that I lived in that hated me because of who I am, and for that I am forever grateful.
That's very powerful, Brandon.
Right?
Yes. R.I.P. Stan Lee.
Right. I think
at 95, that's a good long life.
Stan Lee.
Anyway, yes. Stan Lee was awesome and awesome creative, and rest in peace. And what else? What else we got going on in the culture report?
Serena.
Okay,
I
so Serena
believe.
Williams was on the cover of GQ, along with a bunch of other people. They have like a bunch of different covers.
Yes.
But now GQ's in trouble. They put woman in quotes. So quote woman of the year.
That's even that's
which
worse.
is Virgil Abloh's style. He's the off-white designer for you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, just go give it a Google.
Sneakerheads,
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
However, that's so people are mad because obviously Serena has gone through a lot of shit with the media and people being critical of her body, and just like the whole idea that it should be, in quotes, like it's trying to be ironic. I'm not gonna get crazy about it. I get it why people are like, well, why is that there? But once you know the context of it, I feel like in certain times where it's like, that triggers me, and then you get the information and you're like, okay, I probably wouldn't have done that, but I'm okay with it because now I understand. Like I feel like that's.
Like Virgil's thing is being annoyingly specific with the thing the art that he's obsessing over.
Right.
At the time.
Yeah. Like she wore his design to play in. I forget which tournament it was, but she has like the Nike and it says like logo in quotes. That's his design.
It's a thing.
So yeah. So they're just like everyone is triggered and I get it. Okay. But sometimes we can just accept that that's what it was. I'm gonna venture to say she approved this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now if she didn't, I back off this.
Basically, if Serena's mad, this was bad.
Right.
And if she wasn't, then it was the art. Chill out.
Right. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, and also it's not. Yeah.
We're woke. We can get triggered about everything we want to.
Right.
But if Serena's okay with it, I'm okay with it. If she's
All day,
not,
every day.
we got you, girl.
Yeah. If not, Virgil, come see us.
No, not Virgil.
He the one who did it.
Yeah, but okay, whatever. We'll figure it out.
We don't know who to be mad at yet.
Yes,
but
we don't know who to be mad at.
We're gonna be mad if you want us
eventually.
to be.
Right. All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us this week for the Maybe I'm Crazy podcast. Make sure that you subscribe on YouTube. Maybe I'm Crazy podcast. Follow us on all our YouTube pages. All of our social media pages.
And
Maybe I'm Crazy
the one
Pod.
YouTube one follow for sure.
And then also follow YouTube. And tell your friends.
Yeah.
And thanks for joining us. And quick shout out to the Maybe I'm Crazy podcast Fantasy Football League. I won this week. Duh. And I beat Peppermint Mochas. Somebody has their sound on back there. And how'd you do? I'm in seventh place.
I lost. I'm at 6-4.
I'd rather be 7-3.
I mean,
I took an L this year that I was not very proud of.
I think I have a really good 6-4 team, like the Cowboys 4-5. You know what I mean? Like it's like still in the hunt, very dangerous.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but big news this week. We play each other.
This is.
Do we want to make a bet, or we just roll with it?
I feel like let the people talk about the bets.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
Let's be if anything comes out reasonable, because we know how unreasonable people on the podcast.
Yeah, people get unreasonable.
People who listen to, but you guys, everyone, people in general are like, they're unreasonable sometimes.
Yeah,
but
don't be
we'll
extra.
see.
But
Yeah.
we'll see. If we find something we like, we'll wager on it.
One chip
Otherwise,
challenge?
we'll just talk shit. No, I'm not doing the one chip challenge. That's what we're not doing.
I still want
Why
to
do you want to do that, man?
I just wanted to be on camera. I was gonna get on wax eating a hot chip, holding it down.
I told you,
Like I do.
my tummy does not appreciate hot chips, all right?
no, we'll
so
have
I
something
have to
else.
work for a living.
And I'm counting calories too, so don't do all that food stuff, guys. I ain't got time for all that. I ain't playing with consumption.
I am. All right, well, thanks for joining us this week, and we'll catch you next week.
Bye.
Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not.